I have wLetty Azar. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you so much for being here. You were here last night with Malik.
I was indeed, yep. And Paul Bridgewater was here yesterday morning
Yesterday
with Colette.
morning.
So
Yes, yes, yes.
we
So,
appreciate the love from WHPR this
of
week. We really
course,
do.
because we know that our community needs so much information and help, especially dealing with people as they grow into senior citizen
Yeah.
age and above, and to the point where they have to get assistance.
Yeah. Yeah, and we find that so many times, and I'll speak today a little bit about the agency, who we are and what we represent, but
Okay.
I find oftentimes we meet people long after they could have and should have reached out to us.
Right.
We're most well known. The Detroit Area Agency on Aging is generally known for our holiday meals on wheels,
Right.
right? Which today we have cold pack at the moment, which is why Paul couldn't be here today. And then on
What
Monday,
is COPAC?
so when we have our holiday meals on wheels programs, there are three opportunities to volunteer. There's cold packing, which takes place 2 days before delivery. That's where we put the milk and the juice and pies together. And then there's hot packing the morning of. And that's where the meal itself is assembled by volunteers. Today, SEIU has generously adopted our cold pack in the spirit of Labor Day itself, right?
Yes.
And thank you very much, SEIU. And then so for Monday, UAW Ford has adopted Hot Pack, and we're really excited to partner with UAW Ford this year for the event. And then we have a team of volunteers that'll push out almost 4,000 meals to Detroit area seniors after
That's
that hot
fabulous.
packing. Yeah, it's very exciting. If you've never volunteered with us, please, we sponsor 4 holidays a year: Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and Labor Day. And Easter and Labor Day used to be kind of a struggle for us with volunteers. They're holidays where people don't necessarily feel charitable with their dollars or their time. They're big travel holidays. People aren't always around to
Mhm.
volunteer and deliver. But we've had a lot of luck this year, so I'm
Oh,
really
that's
excited.
great. That's fabulous.
So
And so the area on agency,
DAAA,
yeah, DAAA, Detroit Area
Agency on Aging.
Agency on Aging. Right, 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 right. And I've said it a million times because
That's okay.
Paul's been on my show and so forth. But you're having this benefits fair that comes up, and I just want to make sure anyone who didn't see you last night, they see you
Yeah,
this morning to
yeah.
talk about that.
Well, and I do appreciate the opportunity to talk about this again. We have two very important events coming up. And, when we talk about our services, I just mentioned a little bit about nutrition. We have over 30 programs with the agency, and people don't always know that. They know us for Meals on Wheels, and they know us for the My Choice Waiver Program. And those are programs of last resort. That's after somebody's debilitated, it's after somebody's homebound. But there's a lot that we have upstream to support area seniors and caregivers. So, we have our nutrition pillar, we have our pillar of health and wellness, which I'm really excited about. And that's a whole show of in itself. It
Right,
really is.
right.
And then we have our pillar of senior independence, and we have two conferences coming up, both of which fall in that senior
You know,
independence
that's
lane.
funny. I was just going to ask you about senior independence
Yeah,
because so many of them, like I told you about my mom, I just took her keys last year and she's 95, but she just wants her independence. They
absolutely.
want that, but sometimes their physical won't help that, you know.
The physical won't help it. We can help slow that roll with the physical with some of our programs, but we can also help support those needs and speaking to the benefits fair, ensuring that there's a home to age and place in, right?
Right.
So what happened was there were two things that came to light recently. One was a Free Press article on August 16th called "Rallying for a Home," and it talked about reverse mortgages and senior independence and
Yeah.
the importance of seniors having livable, affordable housing, right? And at the same time, we had a local group, Capital Finance, reach out to us to say they had identified 219 seniors in Detroit that were headed to foreclosure at risk of losing their homes as a result of reverse mortgages.
Yes.
And so they had asked us, knowing that we have a good net to cast, we have an incredible outreach department, if we would partner with them on a benefits fair to help bring not only those 219 seniors for mortgage counseling that day so that we can get in front of a potential crisis, right? We want people to stay in their homes, but to also help educate the community to the myths of reverse mortgages, who should have.
Yeah, because they have here the senior citizen actor. They used to have Robert Wagner.
Yeah,
Now they have what's his name? Fred. Fred. Dalton or whatever. They have him talking about how it can be so attractive to you, you know, and especially if you're on a limited income, you sit up and say, wow, I own my house. Maybe I could use some extra money and I can go here. I could do some things I always wanted to do. But there's a downside to that, a real big downside. And that's why you need to come to the benefits fair. Forewarned is forearmed. Isn't that what they say?
Absolutely. And it's interesting that this is starting to rear its ugly head again.
Yeah.
I really thought after the market collapse we wouldn't see the
And
uptick
all
in-
those foreclosures.
Yep. But we are seeing it again, and I'll be the first to admit I am far from a subject matter expert. I also am very much looking forward to the fair
Right.
to learn a little more about reverse mortgages. And that's a question that's come up with the fair. Who should attend? It's not just seniors, and it's not just homeowners. It's caregivers, it's neighbors. Seniors tend to play their cards very close to their vest
Right.
when it comes to potentially losing their independence. And
Right.
oftentimes reverse mortgages have been sought to help other family members. So if you sought a reverse mortgage to help out a child in need, the last thing a senior is going to do is turn to that child and say, you know what, we need to kind of turn this around now. So what we're finding is people are reaching out far too late. So who should attend? Seniors should attend, homeowners should attend, caregivers should attend, neighbors, block club leaders, community organizations, healthcare providers, home and community based.
Families.
So anyone should attend. It's a free event. It's on September 15th at Sacred Heart Seminary.
Right over there on Chicago.
Yes, ma'am. Chicago and Linwood. It's from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30, and we'll have a number of counselors there, mortgage counselors. Aside from mortgage counseling, we wanted to make this one-stop shopping for seniors. We really did. We wanted to be able to impart as many resources regarding senior benefits as possible. We're partnering with Elder Law of Michigan for this event and the NCOA, which is the National Council on Aging. And NCOA has some very interesting data that says most seniors walk away from roughly $7,000 a year in public and private benefits because they
Wow,
didn't
that they
know
can get.
that they didn't know were out there.
Wow.
And when you look at the senior poverty rate within Detroit and surrounding communities, it's about 70%.
And a lot of seniors have so much pride, they don't want to tell anybody
Absolutely.
that they need help. So you also have Michigan's A Step Forward. What is
Right.
that?
So a step forward is the mortgage counseling piece, where we
Okay.
walk seniors through benefits that might be available to them to help them save their home, discover what path
All of
might be
those,
right for them.
Right.
And then we'll have utility, you will have heating credit counselors there to take a look
That's
at utility
important.
assistance.
Important because I noticed with my mom, she was colder all the time, so her heat would be up. Never where she would have had it when we were coming up, but
Right,
it's
yeah,
more-
it changes. doesn't
Right, it changes, and she even got a space heater, or I got her a space heater so she could heat her feet before
Yeah.
she goes to bed. So your body changes, and you have to make provisions for that. And the way the energy is up so high, you know, a gas bill, you know, and you
Yeah.
work the plans and all of that, and then being on a limited income, that's no fun anyway.
It's not. And we'll also have assistance regarding health care benefits. So prescription discounts, prescription drug discounts, our
Prescription drug
Yes, ma'am.
discounts? You know,
We're
some-
leaving no stone unturned. Benefits are benefits. So whether it's housing and whether it's health care, we'll be there to provide some guidance and assistance. We do ask that people register in advance and RSVP by September 11th to the agency.
which
because
is next Friday, right?
It is. It's next Friday. But we want to make sure we have enough counselors on hand. We don't want people waiting in line. And if we don't know how many people are coming, we're not quite sure how many counselors they have available. You can register for the event at area code 313-446-4444. That's the Detroit Area Agency on Aging at extension 5227. Or just when you call the main number, again, 313-446-4444, just let them know you want to register for the Senior Independence Benefits Fair on the 15th. So we'll have prescription benefits counseling, home mortgage counseling, nutrition counseling, utility credit, and then we'll also have our Medicare and Medicaid assistance program, which the
Right.
agencies
Tell
have
me,
for.
wow, because a lot of people don't know
There's-
there's a difference between the two.
and when you're eligible and when you aren't. And now we have the new dual eligible program in Southeast Michigan, which is for people who are eligible for both Medicare and Medicaid, may be eligible to enroll with one of the managed care organizations.
That's true.
It
True.
is navigating a maze right now. A lot of
And a
folks
lot
are
of people don't
overwhelmed.
know this. They don't know that you could have Medicare, Medicaid, and still have either your Blue Cross or HAP.
Right.
Or
So the good news is there's access to more than there was before, but it's still a maze and it's overwhelming. And so we wanted to provide assistance with that as well. We really do want this to be one-stop shopping. It is a free event. There is a free breakfast served.
breakfast.
Free
Oh,
breakfast.
when is this event again? Tuesday the 15th.
Yes,
but,
ma'am.
That's going to be great because
Yeah.
it's worth. I mean, it's $1 million worth of information.
It really is. It really is. We've got a great lineup for the day. There will be some roundtable discussions and then the opportunity for one-on-one counseling.
We spoke about this in Green Room, but I don't know if it's going to be involved is scams because people
Right.
try to scam senior citizens all the time.
Yep, and oftentimes it's by way of benefits.
Yeah.
And so our MAP program, our Medicare and Medicaid Assistance Program, keeps a running log of what potentially could be a scam.
Oh.
We can't always determine whether or not it is, but we go ahead and report that to the state when we catch wind of something that it's something that we're not familiar with, and we're
So
generally...
what happens? Do the senior, do they mention it to you? How do you all find out?
Yeah, but usually we'll get a call from a senior that says, I received this letter, and I know you guys can help me look into my benefits. Have you heard about this program? And then we'll ask the senior, if it was an email, can you forward it? Can you send it to us? Can you read it to us? Who's the contact information? And then we'll help investigate it. We report it, and then that goes out to all the other agencies statewide, too, so that they're aware there's a new scam in town.
You know, it's funny because I'm sure you have an email account. I have email accounts.
Yeah.
And you get these things on your email accounts, even alluding to a credit card you may have,
Right.
saying we need you, to sign in again and all of that. I never do that because they're trying to get your number,
Right.
your password. And a lot of people aren't aware of that. And then sometimes there are offers. If it seems too good to be true, it usually is. Isn't that correct?
That's true. It's true. If it's too good to be good or too good to be true, then it probably isn't. We also will publish some of the senior scams as we become aware of them and can confirm that they are in fact scams in our newsletter. And we'll share also recent issues that have popped up on our radio show, which is on 1200 a.m.
Right, that's what Mr. Bridgewater.
That's right. Paul Bridgewater, our president and CEO, hosts the Senior Solution every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. On 1200 a.m. WCHB, which is actually a good segue into the other fair that we have to talk about
Yes,
today.
tell us about it.
I'm very excited. Once again, we're hosting, it's the 8th annual Michigan Kinship Conference. And so this is a topic, for those of you who know Paul Bridgewater and Juanita Bridgewater, he's, again, our president and CEO, and Juanita's our first lady of DAAA, as I deem her. They established our kinship program with the agency and have graciously hosted the Michigan Kinship Conference year after year. So this year, it's on September 18th, so just a few days after this, at Wayne County Community College Northwest Campus. And that's also a free event for grandparents raising grandchildren. And Paul and Juanita, I had the pleasure of interviewing them yesterday. That interview will air tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. about their journey of raising their grandson, Zachary, who's an amazing young man today, and we really enjoy when he pops into the agency. But they talk about the struggles of, Paul said, I was 50 years old adopting a 5-year-old child. That's not where I expected to see myself. And they talk a lot about the emotions. They talk about some of the legal issues surrounding raising grandchildren, and then just the struggles of, I can say from my own parenting experience, parenting 2 teenagers myself was difficult, but when you've maybe had a generational gap in between,
Yes,
and
yes.
properly equipping people to parent in to 2015.
Well, that's why they leave children to young people. But seriously, there are so many grandparents
There are
who
so-
are raising their grandchildren.
Yeah.
And even when I babysit, it's like I'm happy to say goodbye sometimes because I don't have the energy that I had when I was chasing my kids around
Right.
the house. And there are a lot of challenges, like you say, and this kinship It's a kinship conference?
It's a kinship conference. We have an ongoing program called Grandparents Raising Grandchildren.
Yes.
And they have several events throughout the year, and we have a support group that meets regularly. And they laugh together, and they pray together, and they cry together, and they lift each other up. There's some good times and bad. But so that's the core group that sponsors the statewide conference
That's
every year.
wonderful. Where is that going to be?
Wayne County Community College
Oh,
Northwest
yes.
Campus on September 18th. And that event is from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., also free. Also contact our agency at 313-446-4444 to register for that event. And again, that's the Michigan Kinship Conference. We ask that participants for both of these conferences register by September 11th.
Right.
Again,
right.
so that we can have, there is a meal provided at the kinship conference, and they have an incredible lineup of lecturers too. I mean, it's really, I was reading the agenda yesterday, and it runs the gamut. I think this year our committee has left no stone unturned as to topics that grandparents will be looking for.
Yes, because, like I said, you're not the same as you were, say, 20, 30 years ago, and children aren't the same.
Yep.
That's the other thing. Children aren't the same. As a teacher, I had a lot of children who were being raised by their grandparents and stuff. And it's amazing to see, especially some of the older grandparents. They're young grandparents and then they're older ones. But to see the older ones come into school, they're more often than some of the younger ones. I mean, so responsible, so responsible. And I think this fair is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And you want grandparents there, or?
We want grandparents who are raising grandchildren to attend. We want to leave them wiser than they came to us, and grandparents are quite wise, but we think we have some additional information that we can equip people with to feel more secure and to know you're not alone raising a grandchild, and that the struggles and the challenges that many people face and feel are common. And also to raise awareness to some of the ongoing resources that our agencies and others provide in the community.
So there are resources for grandparents?
Well, as far as support groups and so on.
That's important. Sometimes you just need that
access
pat on
to
the
legal
back.
advice, that's very overwhelming.
Legal advice.
And Paul and Juanita speak to this in detail in the interview that'll air tomorrow morning about, jumping through the hoops and having to deal with two different states to
because that was
Zachary.
Georgia. The young man was in Georgia.
That's right. Yeah, Zachary was in Atlanta in foster care, and it took them almost 2 years to get him here to Michigan. And here they were grandparents. Here they were biological relatives. And the state of Michigan does an excellent job, and to Michigan's credit, we do an amazing job of trying to place children with family.
Right.
And that is always a priority in Michigan.
Always.
But that's not the case in other states. And so here they were, family members trying to bring a family member home and raise him. And it's a 2-year legal battle.
So let's talk about the two events real quick
Yes.
and remind the audience when they are.
Okay, so we have our Senior Benefits Fair on Tuesday, September 15th. That's from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We do ask that you register in advance by September 11th.
And they could call in to register.
Call in to register at area code 313-446-4444. And then on Friday, September 18th, we have our Michigan Kinship Conference, which will be held at Wayne County Community College Northwest Campus from 9 to 2 p.m. That also includes lunch. And also RSVPs, we respectfully request by September 11th.
Can people RSVP for both of them?
Absolutely.
At the same time?
Yep.
Oh,
Same number, 313-446-4444. If you'd like more information, there is information about both conferences on our website at DetroitSeniorSolution.com. Again, that's www.DetroitSeniorSolution.com.
Well, this is so important. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
And you have sentimental feelings about
I
this
do.
building.
I
Tell
do.
the audience why.
So this building, once upon a time, was owned by Ross Roy Advertising. And this was a production studio. This was their photo studio back in the day. And so my father started in creative and then was over with accounts. But I grew up in the studio as a little girl. I remember coming here on the weekends with my dad. He passed away 21 years ago. But I'll tell you, it's just, we've done a number of interviews. And again, WHPR has been very generous to the agency this week. But we've done a number of interviews, and it warms my heart to be here again. I literally grew up in this studio, so this is incredible. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I
Letty.
appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, stick and stay. I'm still saying that. Stick and stay and don't go away because we have Tamika Culpepper, and you will want to hear what she has to offer.